going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice. When we left off, the case was almost done for. We had Ellen's not guilty verdict in the bag, but
Yep.
we're here to fix their marriage. We can't let Soren go for something they may not have done because his memories are a little funky right now. So,
But now,
Mr. Pierce
no,
Nickety.
Soren's fine. It's back on Ellen now. We have to save Ellen again.
yeah, ever since he walked up here, now he's causing more issues. Because, I mean, it was fine. Ellen was fine. Then we decided to call him back, and now shit's going bad. But we're going to tear your establishment down board by board.
I think he killed Gloomsbury and, vengeance reasons.
Exactly, because he has a motive.
Ellen, to him, is expendable. So he's pinning it on her, and that's that.
Absolutely. So, let's talk about the Vista deck thing. Wait a minute. I thought you went to the Vista deck with Mr. Sprocket.
That's my theory, in a nutshell.
Actually, that is not true. What? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I found this out afterward, but Mr. Soren went to the Vista deck alone. He went up the escape hatch in the reception hall and went along the outside wall.
What? I've said that so many
You
times.
can't be serious. You mean Mr. Wright's addlepated guess was actually correct? What's with the addlepated?
Suppose truth really is stranger than fiction.
So, Mr. Nickety, when you got to the scene, you saw Mr. Gloomsbury, Miss Wyatt, and Mr. Sprocket. Is that right? That is exactly right. And then you saw Mr. Gloomsbury collapsed. I saw him writing in his notebook. So when you and your group arrived at the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed?
By you.
That is correct.
I knew it. No.
I mean, Gloomsbury had already been struck. Miss Ellen had lost consciousness, probably from the shock of the incident. And how did Mr. Sprocket appear? Dead. He was bleeding from the stab wound he'd received from Gloomsbury. Barely conscious, he was writing something in his notebook. So the mysterious third person Ellen saw really was Soren then. Master Soren said to me, "I'll take the blame for the murder, so please take care of it." So Mr. Sprocket wrote a note of confession in order to take the blame for Miss Wyatt. Yes, that notebook is the only form of memory Master Soren has. So you understand what his action meant, I trust.
What did it mean, Nick?
To Soren, everything in that notebook is true, so Soren tried to take the blame by altering his own memory to make himself think he did it.
Wow, no.
No.
That's metal as hell.
Master Soren truly loves Miss Ellen. It must have been love that made him do that.
The power of love strikes again.
Went against his order, I tore the page out of his notebook and hit the body. Mr. Nickety, could you please tell this court about it in more detail? That you say? Which part do you mean, Mr. Wright? Could you be more specific? Oh, alright. What part do I know more about? I'm gonna say hiding the body, because we haven't really been able to use the fact of the bloody handle and everything.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the big thing of what we have. Please tell me more about the hiding of the body. Very well. After saying he would take the blame, Master Soren passed out. That's when I hid the body. Quickly took the lift down to the hold, but I hid Gloomsbury's still-warm body in the spare peggable lantern. So it was you who hid the body, not the defendant. I think Mr. Butts would move the lantern, containing the body to the reception hall. We did not see that coming. I don't blame you. Not even Larry can predict what Larry will do next.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take another look at the lantern and evidence.
He can't predict what he's gonna do next because he doesn't think about it first.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes, please. Add that shit.
Very well. Please have that statement to your testimony, Mr. Nickety.
I just think of Bucky Wet, who called Athena Ms. Chickadee.
Just chickadee.
Pierce Nickety.
Why did you hide the body in the lantern? As I told you yesterday, it was to make it as though the murder never happened. But thanks to Mr. Butts, things did not turn out as planned. So holding the second wedding reception wasn't Mr. Sprocket's idea, but yours, wasn't it? It was also for Master Soren's sake, and Sprocket Aviation. If I am accused of a crime for trying to cover up the incident, I shall accept it willingly. He really doesn't seem to be even care for himself.
That goes against my theory. So he's talking about the cover-up after the incident, huh?
Right. That's information only somebody who was actually involved could know.
So it might be a really important piece of testimony.
I think so too. I'll really have to tread carefully here.
I think he did it. I'm not gonna lie. It's always a witness, Nick, with you. It's always a witness.
It absolutely is. Alright. In the hold, I hid the still warm body in the spare peggable lantern.
Still warm.
It's disturbing. There's a bloodstain on the inside wheel handles of somebody gripped it with a bloody hand.
Why did you have to specify still warm? Was that a necessary adjective?
I don't know. But, let's talk about this.
Objection.
Could it be? Is that what happened?
Is what happened?
If what I'm thinking is true,
What are you thinking?
maybe I can prove neither Ellen nor Soren did the deed. Oh. I wonder if, like, after whoever hit him first, and he was knocked unconscious,
Yeah.
no one up top did a second hit yet. He took the body thinking, oh my god, it's a dead body, I've got to hide it
And just
inside
yeets
the
him.
peggable lantern. But he was still alive, so Gloomsbury, like, opened the door, and then fucking homeboy's like, oh shit! Oh fuck! So, maybe. Let's see. Mr. Nickety, you said the body was still warm when you hit it, correct? So then, what if Mr. Gloomsbury was still alive when you went to put his body inside the lantern? What?
What? There I go again.
That's preposterous. Actually, this shows that the victim might have still been alive inside the lantern.
I'm afraid you'll have to point out which part you're talking about, Mr. Wright.
Of course, I always have
The
to with you.
handle.
This part here shows the victim might still have been alive inside the lantern. The ringity-dingy-turny handle. As you can see, the back end of the lantern is a door. And there's blood here on the wheel handle. That blood stain must have gotten there when the witness put the body inside the lantern.
Nope.
It in no way shows that the victim drew his last breath while he was within the lantern.
Incorrect.
I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. For you see, in putting this lantern back together, the police, Emma, inadvertently placed the inside handle on the outside and vice versa. In other words, the wheel handles got swapped.
Oh my, so they got swapped?
Yes, they got swapped. But what? They got swapped? But that's ridiculous.
They got swapped? What? I don't know what you're talking
Not at all. If you compare the other male peggable lantern in the reception hall, it's quite obvious the wheel handles were attached backwards. The detective in charge of the restoration will see me in my office later
Uh-oh.
for a pay reevaluation.
Oh no.
Sorry, Emma. Good luck. I know how that goes.
Oh boy. We've heard it from Gumshoe.
Uh-huh.
In that case, what does the blood stain on the wheel handle mean?
Bloodstain didn't get there by chance. When the victim was put inside the lantern, he was only unconscious, not dead. When he regained that consciousness, he probably tried to get out of the lantern. So he grasped the inner wheel handle, and that's when the blood got on it. This proves that the victim was still alive when he was inside the lantern. At the time, I was completely convinced Gloomsbury was dead. Had I checked more carefully, he might have survived. Unfortunate to be sure, but not significant enough to change this trial's outcome. Again, I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yeah.
It actually has a very significant impact on this case.
Because if Pierce hid the body, only Pierce would know where he is.
Yeah, but the victim was struck by the defendant and then died from his injuries sometime later. There's nothing more to it. That's where you're wrong. Let's take another look at Mr. Gloomsbury's autopsy report, shall we? Please focus on the description of his injuries. It says, 1 contusion was found in the back of his head, 1 on the side. Yes, the one Mr. Sprocket gave him and the one Miss White delivered to finish him off.
Homie.
No, the defense would like to submit a different interpretation.
A different interpretation?
The victim was knocked unconscious by the first blow and was then put into the lantern.
But then, what about the lethal blow by the defendant that the witness talked about?
Yes, well, that didn't happen. After some time, when the victim regained consciousness and tried to get out of the lantern, that's when he received the second blow that finished him off.
Taking into account the fact that the victim was alive for a period after the first hit, and that he did receive a second blow to the head, it does seem entirely possible.
Yes, as long as the first blow didn't kill the victim instantly, then there's a possibility that someone other than Mr. Sprocket or Miss White delivered the final blow.
Fatal.
Final. The final fatal blow. Huh. That's all you've got? Even if there was a time lag between the two blows, prosecution's position doesn't change. What? What do you mean? It's elementary, Mr. Wright. After the reception, when the defendant was cleaning up the reception hall, the victim, who was supposed to be dead, suddenly came out of the lantern. The defendant grabbed the murder weapon, which was right there, and finished him off. I hate that Edgeworth has a very correct idea of how to interpret it, to be fair.
I forgot that she was found like that.
That's an entirely fair judgment on his part. Can't be wrong.
I forgot she was found like that.
That theory sounds awfully familiar.
Because we haven't seen that picture in so long.
No.
I forgot that's how it went down.
Of course it does, Your Honor, because it's exactly what I proposed at the very start. The second blow is inflicted by the defendant after all.
I see. It seems a tangle of mysteries has unraveled into a single thread.
Fucking hold on a second. But as long as there's a possibility that the fatal blow is delivered by a third person, then we must continue the deliberations. Give it up, Mr. Wright, unless you have something to prove the presence of your precious third person.
Okay, Nick, just relax. You can do this. Come on now. Take some deep breaths.
Good idea. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
There. Don't you feel better already?
No.
Well, you didn't do it long enough.
That's right. Just calm down, get my focus back, and go over everything again. And then hopefully, I'll be able to find something to prove there was a third person. Is it big brain time?
Oh?
Okay, maybe not.
No.
Let's see. First, why did Gloomsbury attack Ellen?
Because he was tired of taking the blame for the accident?
Something about that line of reasoning just doesn't feel quite right to me.
No? How come?
Well, if it's just a personal vendetta, he had already stabbed Soren. So why then was he so determined to go after Ellen?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. You're right. This whole thing feels too premeditated for a crime of passion.
But Gloomsbury didn't seem to have a personal grudge against Ellen. If Gloomsbury didn't have a personal reason to attack Ellen, then... You've taken long enough, Mr. Wright. Now it's time for some action. What proof do you have that a third person was involved? Alright, I'll show you. I'm really not sure of what I'm doing yet, but it looks like I'm out of time.
Oh boy.
This piece of evidence proves involving a third person.
The note? Maybe? What does it say?
Grab Ellen when convenient, then send her off from the Vista deck. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, because
we haven't even used that yet either.
That's Gloomsbury from someone. That's not Gloomsbury's note. Because he went to grab Ellen, so...
Yeah, I get it now. Now I see why this note bothered me so much when I first saw it.
It was instructions.
It looks like a note outlining the murder plot.
That note was apparently written by the victim.
But why would he feel the need to write instructions to himself like this?
Because it wasn't from himself.
Your Honor, please take a look at this note.
This is the victim's murder plan, right?
It's definitely a murder plan, but what if Mr. Gloomsbury didn't write this note himself?
Why would you write down your own murder plan, you know?
Yeah.
For what?
Because if it's your own plan, you don't need to write it down. Unless you're Soren.
This is how you intend to conjure up your mysterious third party, Mr. Wright. Can you even prove that this note wasn't written by the victim?
Do a handwriting comparison.
Yes. Yes, I can.
Very well then. Please present your evidence, Mr. Wright.
Do you know what it's going to be? It's not even that. Do you know what it's going to be?
What?
It's going to be the fact, if I remember correctly, he tried to open the handle to the door with his left hand while he was inside.
Yep.
This evidence proves the victim didn't write the note. And also, his hand was bloody, so there probably would have been blood on a utensil somewhere. Wouldn't even write it with when he was inside there, but... Anyways.
Well, no, because this would have been written before all that happened.
Yeah. Oh, it's not that! This is the proof of him dying to see. Fuck! It doesn't look like anything of the sort to me.
I have to agree.
Just close your eyes and concentrate, Your Honor. Something coming to you? A penalty, perhaps?
No. No, nothing at all.
Oh, great. Nothing, huh?
Mr. Wright. Close your eyes and concentrate. Do you see something coming to you?
Damn. I should have seen that coming. Okay, I better try again.
The sass! I've never seen the judge
This
be
proves the
sassy
victim didn't
like that.
write the note.
At least, not very often.
Do we have anything else to go off of?
Would it be the peggable?
What do you mean?
Because it has the handle, maybe? The bloody hand?
I don't think that's it. Huh. We still haven't used...
But if that's it, what would it be? Or if that's not it, what would it be?
I just don't see it. If this didn't do it, I don't see why this would do it.
Because this talks about... Yeah,
No, it's not it, so... I'm...
Wait,
genuinely
did you
confused.
save before we started this?
No.
Why?
Riding by the seat of my pants.
Why do you do that? Why do you not save before we start these things?
I can save now.
No!
I save now.
Why would you save when we have 2 lives?
Oh, it's better than nothing.
You just gave ourselves hardcore mode.
Not really.
Oh my god.
You're
insufferable.
Is there anything about the Flying Chapel pamphlet that will tell me anything? Not really. Ellen's statement. I don't think it's Ellen's statement. Because that Gloomsbury was... I mean... I wasn't talking about Gloomsbury on the Vista deck. She saw in her day's state a shadowy figure hit Gloomsbury from behind. But that doesn't really change anything. No. The timekeeper, haven't used that at all once. Not that, and it's not that. Is it the fact that it's fucking smudged? I don't understand.
I was saying it was written by a right-handed person, so... Is she the one who wrote it? She's not actually dead. It's like, this shows that she's right-handed.
That would be fucking metal. Photo of reception. There ain't nothing going on. Nothing would deal with that. Don't need Larry's fucking drawing. The picture of the hold, that doesn't matter. Autopsy report, death, key card entry, fucking, that doesn't matter. Candelabra, I genuinely don't get it. I'll try Ellen's statement.
Nope.
No. Oh boy, are we gonna get one of those handy dandy game overs?
Oh boy. The game's freaking out. Be careful. It's doing the crickle crackle of the sound.
Yeah.
It doesn't like you spamming.
Huh. I genuinely don't know.
Is it just the note again?
That's the last thing I can think to do is because of the smudges on there. But that just feels weird. But well, no, it's not it. So at least we're gonna get to see we get to die. We get to fail our mission.
No.
That's enough. See no need to further prolong this trial.
Oh shit.
Defense's case is insufficient to overturn the prosecution's claims. Score finds Defendant Wright guilty.
Find it ouchy.
No.
What the fuck is going on here?
I don't know.
Then we just hit try again, and it just welcomes us back in with open arms.
Unless the game crashes.
No, it looks like it's just loading up to where it was, so. And we get all our lives back. Look at that.
Save.
It's not even important at this point, but okay.
It's important to me. Thank you.
There's nothing. The only thing that I can even think of to remotely try and make any sense. I'm gonna throw the fucking Selena Sprocket photo.
Why?
Because she was right-handed.
Oh my god.
I genuinely don't understand anything.
The Notebook, maybe?
I mean, I'll give it a shot because I got nothing else left. So
I'm just
let's
reaching.
throw the Notebook at him.
Nope. What
No?
the hell is
I
it?
genuinely have no
Are we dumb?
idea what's going on.
Are we dumb? Is that what's happening?
Apparently. I just don't. There's only so many game overs we can get at this point. I mean,
It wouldn't be that.
Wouldn't be the pendant. It's not
We
Ellen's
tried that already.
because I tried it. The Flying Chapel pamphlet doesn't make any sense. Timekeeper doesn't make any sense.
It's not
Tried
that. It's
both
not
of
that,
those.
not
Tried
that.
Fog machine.
Then there's no way.
It's not that. I just literally don't get it. Was that the victim didn't write the note? Which you mean to prove that someone else did write the note.
Yeah.
But we have nothing like that.
The audio's freaking out. You hear that?
Yeah, I do.
The crackling.
The newspaper article.
Why would that be it?
I don't know, just just the fact that someone else could have been involved in it and have a want for it. I'm so genuinely confused. I think I've reached the point where I have to say I need an answer from the internet. So I'm gonna be right back,
We've
everybody.
tried literally so many
I don't
things.
fucking get it. Nothing that makes sense. It's my badge, obviously. Ugh.
It shows we'll find the way.
By cheating. Okay, I figured it out.
I have no idea what it is.
Apparently it's the candelabra.
What?
Maybe, I mean, I'll just assume because I guess I didn't see this part, but it's bearing the fingerprints of Gloomsbury's dominant left hand. I didn't see that part until just now, but
this is why we need to read.
I suppose, but we wouldn't think of anything like that when we go through everything. But this is the weapon Mr. Gloomsbury used to stab Mr. Sprocket. I was wondering what you'd pull out this time. Dare I ask what that could possibly have to do with the note? Mr. Gloomsbury's prints were found on this candelabra, and the prints were from his left hand.
So that makes the victim left-handed, correct?
Exactly, Your Honor.
Yes.
The police looked into it too and confirmed as much. Now, take a look at the smudged writing in this note. Notice how the smudging only starts from the middle of each preceding line. Had it been written by a lefty, the writing would be smudged from the far left end. This means that whoever wrote this note was definitely right-handed. In other words, somebody other than the victim wrote this note.
What? If someone other than Mr. Gloomsbury wrote it, and what else? does this note mean?
Mr. Gloomsbury followed this note to the letter when he attacked Miss Wyatt. So clearly this note isn't a murder plan written by Mr. Gloomsbury, but rather, these are instructions to kill Miss Wyatt issued by somebody else. If it wasn't the victim who wrote these so-called instructions, then who wrote it? Most of the people involved are right-handed, you know. He is correct. The majority of the family and the employees were on the airship.
He's right-handed.
Oh, indeed, right-handed. Look at me go. I must say that is a very rough and shipshod conjecture you've proposed. I admit I haven't figured out who wrote it just yet.
Leave it to Mr. Edgeworth to go for the jugular.
The sculptor ordered Gloomsbury to attack Ellen. What could their motive have been?
It doesn't seem very likely Ellen did anything to incur anybody's wrath, right?
Right. Not too likely, anyway. In that case, it has to be about Soren.
If somebody were to hold a grudge against Soren, what would it be about?
That accident, I guess.
Yep.
I can understand if Gloomsbury felt resentful about having to take the blame.
But the one who lost the most to that accident was Soren's sister. She lost her life after all. Soren suffered too, of course. He was crushed by losing somebody so precious to him.
Somebody precious, huh?
Here we go.
Soren's sister.
Here we go.
Wait. There's one more person.
Yep.
There's someone else who must hold a grudge against Soren.
Did you figure something out?
I think so. I think this somebody else used Gloomsbury to try and get revenge against Soren.
Like a coward.
Did you say somebody tried to get revenge against Mr. Sprocket, Mr. Wright?
The person who manipulated and used Mr. Gloomsbury was Selena's fiancé.
Yep.
The person who used Mr. Gloomsbury to try and get revenge on Mr. Sprocket, and then finished Mr. Gloomsbury off to silence him, was a man dear to Mr. Sprocket's older sister, Selena Sprocket's fiancé. Not that I'm not positive, but it's certainly possible. His fiancé could have made Gloomsbury attack Ellen to get his revenge on Soren. But what?
Her fiancé?
The power of love strikes again.
And for the worst this time.
Bap, bap, bap. Order in the court. Order, I say. Yes, it does seem quite believable that Miss Selena Sprocket's fiancé would bear a grudge against Mr. Sprocket for his role in the accident. Same thing.
Exactly, Your Honor. Maybe her fiancé was trying to murder Miss Wyatt in order to make Mr. Sprocket experience the same pain he'd felt. Miss Sprocket's fiancé was a surgeon, if memory serves, but the only people who attended the reception were family and staff members.
Exactly.
That may be, but then that just means that Mr. Sprocket's fiancé must have been among those who attended.
What? Really? Come on, Maya.
Of course. Otherwise, how could he have killed Gloomsbury?
Oh, I see what you're doing. This is just another giant bluff, isn't it?
All right, I'll bite. Who exactly do you claim this fiancé to be?
Yes, I would like to know as well.
Are you sure you're gonna be okay, Nick?
Maybe? When it comes to suspicious people, there's only one person on my list. I need to find something that connects him to Selena. It's obviously fucking Larry, but let's help us identify Miss Sprocket's fiance.
The picture.
And that is
Yep.
the photo.
Because
Look at
of
this photograph.
The pocket watch.
Please take a look at this photo, Your Honor. Is that a photo? Yes, this one. Notice Miss Sprocket's pocket watch. Haven't we seen it somewhere before?
Yes, now that you mention it, I do feel as if I've seen it somewhere before.
Oh shit. I believe we've all seen it, right here in this very courtroom. Not impossible.
Not really.
Uh-huh, that's right. The pocket watch in this photo
Boom.
is the same pocket watch Mr. Nickety has on him right now.
What?
This is clear proof of a strong connection between Pierce Nickety and Selena Sprocket. No.
juicy. Well, Mr. Nickety, is this true?
Mr. Nickety, you were once engaged to Selena Sprocket. That pocket watch, you keep it as a memento of her, don't you? But you're quiet as Soren was earlier.
Yeah.
Mr. Nickety, you plan to rob Mr. Sprocket of his loved one, to make him feel the same pain as you. Isn't that right? But Mr. Sprocket managed to fight back and knock Mr. Gloomsbury unconscious. You thought Mr. Gloomsbury was dead and hid his body in the lantern. But then you noticed Mr. Gloomsbury regained consciousness. And so you finished him off to prevent your plan from being exposed. This is the defense's take on what really happened in this murder case.
Mr. Wright, does this mean you wish to officially accuse this witness of the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury?
Fuck yeah. The
It's what he's
accused Mr.
good
Nickety
at.
of the murder? Accused.
Indicting witnesses as murderers.
The defense indicts Pierce Nickety on the charge of murdering Dumas Gloomsbury.
Oh my! What a shocker! Mr. Nickety, would you care to respond? Any day now?
Little shit hasn't said anything.
Nope.
Whoa.
Man, this letter just steps on and on and on. As you guessed, this watch is a memento of Selena. Stopped working at the time of the accident, though. Just like Soren's brain. But I mean, then you really are. Yes, I was Selena's fiancé. And not just her fiancé, but the surgeon beside her deathbed.
Objection!
Mr. Nickety, why didn't you tell me any of this before? Shut it, you useless prosecutor. I thought you could be of use, but apparently this case was too much for you.
Wow.
What did you say?
Fight!
If the office hadn't stuck its nose all up in this, I could have swept it under the rug. Not only did you interfere with the case, but you even let me fall under suspicion. That's because you kept trying to cover things up on the sly. Ugh. But covering things up wasn't your only involvement. The only person who had a motive to use the victim to try and kill Miss Wyatt was you.
Whoa.
Oh god, ow.
I told you I had things to explode! No.
Whoa. What are you gonna do with that? Yo.
It's kind of clever.
I'm scared.
Malignant tumors. Malignant tumors in this courtroom. Lesions oozing with false charges.
Who's that?
Maya, get back in the court. Get back to my court. The tumors are one idiotic lawyer and one useless prosecutor. After the truth is revealed, I'll have the both of you incised from the legal world.
You have problems.
You okay? Huh. I'd like to see you try. The power of the Sprocket family, it'd be a cinch. Whoa!
What the?
Are you building a death robot? We'll begin the operation.
What in the world happened to Mr. Nickety?
Looks like he's finally showing his true colors.
Nick, look what he did to that shoulder mech. Oh god, he has that face.
Quit your yapping before I suture your chatty lips shut.
Oh boy. There he goes. It's like he's a completely different person. This is what happens whenever you indict a witness for a murder, Nick. They all go crazy.
Yeah, sure looks like it, huh? You can't let our guards down now. Which means you're gonna spend this time getting ready for this battle for 23.5 hours as we do it next time.
God, why do they always have to have a crazy laugh?
You know, that's a great question. It's
either a crazy laugh, a crazy look, or both.
And he's got both of them.
Yeah,
And now he's got a crazy robot too.
why
That's a new
why do
one.
I still hang out with you?
Because it's interesting.
You know, you're not wrong, but like...
Exactly. And because I feed you.
Okay, yeah.